Afternoon, everyone. Virgo here. It is July 12th, 2019, and I would like to read you a petition made by the actual Moorish Science Temple of America that might help to clear a few things up and will give you a good indication of the reason why the party that we continue to follow with concerns of terrorism is making statements about placing liens on the real Moorish Science Temple of America, which happens to be, let me preface this by saying, the Moorish Science Temple of America is a religious movement. It is something that is not involved with the online Moorish group that are claiming that they own everything in America, so on and so forth. There is a distinction in between the two. I don't agree actually with either, but everyone has the right to religious freedom in this country, and therefore the Moorish Science Temple of America actually has the status to be able to make whatever claims that they want to with regards to their religion. Okay, but making claims in terms of actual laws, well, let's take a listen to what the actual Moorish Science Temple of America has to say. So this is a petition that was put up because it is very difficult for the news sources to really cipher through this and understand. See, because of the online pretend Moors, we'll call them, it appears as though they're using, the Moorish Science Temple of America logos and everything else, and so therefore they believed that they were actually an offshoot of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Mainstream media only was looking at the fact that they were seeing current sovereign citizen ideology and the usage of the Moorish Science Temple of America's logos and their use of the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. So, of course, they lumped them together, and as a result, the Moorish Science Temple of America was upset about a couple of different news articles in which you can locate in this article that I will, in this petition, that I will put the link in the description for you guys. All right, so Sharik Wayel started the petition to ABC and 3 other news sources, and this is what he wrote. He is the Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science Temple of America, by the way. Greetings, I am Sheikh Wayel, a Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The organization that I represent and have for years has come under attack by various news media agencies with what appears to be malicious intent to paint our organization and its founder, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, in a false light. The Moorish Science Temple of America is an organization full of law-abiding American citizens. Over the decades, offshoot groups adopting the name Moor, along with aspects of our organization, have adopted Southern American Confederate anti-government ideas and engaged in scofflaw criminal activity. For whatever reason, media outlets have tied these scofflaws to our organization and its founder, Noble Drew Ali. Recently, Gavin Long, suspected killer of 3 Baton Rouge, Louisiana police officers, was cited by several news agencies as being part of a group called United Washita, can't pronounce it, Mer Nation Midwest Washita. For the record, the Moorish Science Temple of America has absolutely no affiliation with the group United Washita, tribes, or any like groups, individuals, or organizations. We do not share the same ideology whatsoever with any of these groups. While members of these rogue groups may invoke the name of the founder of our organization to follow their own schemes, the Moorish Science Temple of America disavows any usage of the name of our founder and organization by these groups and have expressed this to them on several occasions. The news agency Raw Story, in a recent article entitled Inside the Moorish Sovereign Citizen Movement that motivated the Baton Rouge cop killer, published July 18, 2016, falsely cites information concerning Prophet Noble Drew Ali, founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America, which states, the anti-black sovereign citizen movement's teachings turned out to be highly adaptable to the black nationalist teachings of Noble Drew Ali, who founded the exclusively black Moorish Science Temple of America in the early 20th century. He taught that black Moors had been America's original inhabitants, so that they were entitled to self-governing statuses as a nation within a nation, giving them rights that predate the Constitution, just as sovereign citizens believe. And here is a link to that story. This is absolutely false sensationalist journalism that paints our organization in a false light. First and foremost, the Moorish Science Temple of America is not a black nationalist group. No such jargon can be found anywhere within our teachings, as we shun usage of the labels black, Negro, colored, etc. Secondly, the Moorish Science Temple of America is open to all members of what we refer to as Asiatic nations, from Mexicans to Chinese to Hindus. It does not matter. We are for love and peace, not destruction. Now, here's where we start getting to more important information. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder of our organization, taught that we are law-abiding citizens. He never taught that we are a self-governing nation that predates the Constitution, and thereby we do not have to follow the Constitution. This is a primary example of false light. Prophet Noble Drew Ali teaches in our divine Constitution and bylaws that, Act 4, all members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government. Because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and partial of the government, and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of said government, but to obey hereby. ABC News via Good Morning America also has made fallacious claims that federal authorities are currently looking at ties Long may have to an anti-government group that Long apparently showed support for online, according to a source familiar with the probe. The group, called the Moorish Science Temple of America, was founded in the early 1900s and does not recognize U.S. government authority over the descendants of slaves, according to court documents in an unrelated lawsuit. And here is the information on that article that you could take a look at. This is absolutely false. Prophet Noble Drew Ali never taught that the U.S. authority is not recognized by us. He taught the exact opposite, as can be shown in Acts 4 and 5 above in our organization's bylaws. We feel that this is a direct target against the very first Islamic organization in the United States of America. Moorish Americans are in fact proud citizens, subject to the laws and Constitution of the United States of America. We vote, attend baseball, basketball, and football games. We do not speak radical against other groups, whether it is the church or even those in opposition to us. We teach that love is the only savior of humanity. We are not a hate group. Islam means peace, and this is what we promote as Moorish American Muslims. We are calling on all true American citizens to help us bring awareness to this issue because we are not affiliated with any hateful anti-government groups whatsoever. Please help us bring awareness to this problem with the media. To learn more about the Moorish Science Temple of America, you can also avail yourselves with books about the positive organization that the Moorish Science Temple of America, Noble Drew Ali, and the Moorish Science Temple of America, the movement that started it all. And there's a link to an Amazon page, and there's a couple of other links actually in this petition that you can look at if you're interested in. Okay, so let's talk about this just for a second. Act 4 and Act 5 of the Bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America both state that you are to abide by the Constitution of the United States and obey the laws of the United States of America. Both of them state that. So my question is, the faction that we have running around making claims that the land belongs completely to them and that it's Morocco, and that they don't have to abide by any laws, and claim that the United States, by the way, falsely, is a corporation and everything else is a corporation. My question is, at what point did you decide that you were going to cut out Act 4 and 5 and replace them with the jargon that you have in your bylaws? Not good. Absolutely disgusting, as a matter of fact. To take from a religious movement that was meant to empower so that you could scam, steal, and terrorize others on the very land that the Constitution has given you the right to freedom of speech and freedom of religion. You are a disgusting pack of deplorable people. This is sickening. I wanted to make sure that you guys had a copy of this, and I wanted to make sure that everybody had the link so that if you wanted to look at the other articles, you could. I also want to wish everybody a very happy weekend. I am hoping that I have the opportunity to do a little video that I've been working on and get it up for you guys this weekend, but it may be Monday before I get there, depending on how the internet is doing. It's been up and down all week. And as you guys know, we had a couple of issues here where I'm located at that was creating that problem. It's still not running at the proper speed, and it's still not staying up long enough for me to live stream. So I will do my best to get that information up. I'm trying to get it up before Monday. As we all know, Monday is the 15th. And we're going to see, number one, whether Sharon Tracy Gale Bay shows up to her court date, and if she does, what the outcome is looking like. So meet me back here on Monday and take a look at your notifications. Make sure they're on, because I think you're all going to be interested in the video, if I'm able to get it up this weekend, that I'm putting up for you. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.